Back to the channel. Today we're going to unravel some incredibly complex events in Genoa. Rumors are circulating around the Newman family, but what's the truth? In this video, I'll summarize the plot points that will be revealed in the next episode. Stay tuned to see what happens. The Young and the Restless episode, airing Wednesday, July 22, promises to bring a deeply emotional turning point for Nikki Newman as she finally reaches the moment she has been both anticipating and fearing. After spending so much time with her eyes covered and her future uncertain, Nikki will face the possibility of learning whether her vision can be restored. Victor Newman will remain firmly by his wife's side throughout the ordeal, but even his strength and confidence may not be enough to calm the fear building inside her. Doug Tompos will return as doctor. Nowling, signaling that Nikki's long-awaited appointment to remove her bandages is finally about to take place. On the surface, this should be a hopeful. It represents progress, healing, and the possibility that Nikki may soon reclaim the independence she has lost. However, for Nikki, the removal of the bandages will not simply be another medical procedure. It will be a moment of truth that could change the rest of her. As doctor, Nowling carefully prepares Nikki for the examination. She will likely become increasingly. Every second will seem longer than the one before it. Nikki has spent days imagining what will happen when she opens. At times, she has probably convinced herself that everything will be fine. At other moments, the possibility of permanent damage has almost certainly overwhelmed her. Once the bandages are removed, Nikki will no longer be protected by uncertainty. Until now, she has been able to hold on to the belief that her vision might return once the healing process is complete. The moment Dr. Nowling encourages her to open her eyes, that hope will. Nikki may hesitate before doing what the doctor asks. Her fear will not come from the physical discomfort alone. She will be terrified that she might open her eyes and see nothing. She may also be frightened that her vision will return only partially, leaving her trapped between relief and disappointment. Even a small improvement could create more questions. Victor will remain close, making sure Nikki knows that she is not facing the outcome alone. His presence will be particularly meaningful because Nikki is accustomed to being strong, independent, and capable of handling difficult situations without relying completely on anyone. Her current condition has taken away part of that control, forcing her to place her trust in doctors, family members, and especially Victor. For Victor, watching Nikki struggle will be painful in a way he cannot easily admit. He is a man who solves problems by taking action. When someone threatens his family, he fights back. When an enemy creates an obstacle, he searches for a way to remove it. Nikki's medical crisis is different. Victor cannot intimidate an injury, negotiate with it, or force it to disappear. All he can do is stay beside her and wait. That helplessness may be one of the reasons Victor's promise will carry so much emotional weight. As Nikki prepares to receive news that could suddenly alter her life, Victor will make it clear that his loyalty does not depend on whether she fully recovers. He will reassure her that he intends to stand by her regardless of what Dr. Nowling discovers. Victor's devotion will not erase Nikki's fear, but it may give her the courage to face the truth. His message will be simple yet powerful. Whatever happens next, they will face it together. If Nikki's vision returns, Victor will be there to celebrate. If she suffers setbacks or permanent complications, he will remain there to help her adjust. For Nikki, this promise may be both comforting and difficult to accept. She loves Victor and understands the depth of their connection, but she may not want to become dependent on him. Nikki has always fought to maintain her own identity, even during the most turbulent periods of their marriage. The idea that she may need Victor to guide her, protect her, or help her through basic parts of daily life could leave her feeling vulnerable. This is why the medical appointment may not provide the immediate happy ending Nikki desperately. The situation appears to be the beginning of a longer summer storyline rather than the conclusion of her health crisis. Even if Maliki is able to see something after the bandages are removed, her vision may be blurred, unstable, or incomplete. She could experience brief moments of clarity followed by darkness. She may be able to recognize shapes without seeing details or distinguish light while struggling to identify the people standing. Each small improvement could offer hope, only for another setback to remind her that recovery will not happen overnight. Doctor. Nowling may caution Nikki and Victor against expecting too much too soon. Healing can be unpredictable, and Nikki may need additional examinations before the full extent of the damage is understood. The doctor's careful explanation could leave Nikki frustrated because she wants certainty, not more waiting. Victor may focus on the positive signs, determined to keep Nikki from losing hope. However, Nikki may sense when he is hiding his own concerns. She knows Victor too well to be fooled by his confident expression. If Dr. Nowling delivers uncertain news, Nikki may realize that Victor is just as frightened as she is, even if he refuses to show it. Their reactions could reveal an important difference. Victor will likely approach the problem as another battle that must be won. He may immediately begin thinking about specialists, treatments, and every possible option that money and influence can provide. Nikki, on the other hand, may need time to process what the changes could mean for her emotionally. She may begin imagining all the things she could lose if her vision does not return completely. She could worry about moving around without assistance, recognizing the faces of the people she loves, or continuing to live her life on her own terms. Those fears may create tension between Nikki's desire for independence and Victor's instinct to protect her from every possible danger. Victor may become more attentive than ever, refusing to leave Nikki alone and insisting on helping her with everything. Although his behavior will come from love, Nikki may eventually feel suffocated. She will be grateful for his loyalty, but she may also resent being treated as fragile. That conflict could become one of the central emotional struggles of Nikki's storyline. Her greatest challenge may not simply be recovering her sight. It may be learning how to accept help without feeling that she has lost her. Victor's promise will therefore be about more than remaining physically present. He will have to prove that he can support Nikki without controlling her. He will need to respect her decisions even when he believes he knows what is best. For a man like Victor, that may be far more difficult than making promises in a hospital. While Nikki and Victor confront an uncertain future, another complicated relationship will continue developing elsewhere in Genoa City. Phyllis Summers and Matt Clark will apparently move past Nick Newman's interruption from the previous night and spend a far warmer morning together. The interruption may have briefly disturbed the intimacy between Phyllis and Matt, but it will not destroy the connection that has formed between them. Phyllis will appear in a robe as she continues trying to persuade Matt not to leave Genoa. Her relaxed appearance may suggest confidence, but beneath the surface, she will be carefully watching him for any indication that he is preparing to disappear. Matt has made it clear that he is growing tired of the judgments. Everywhere he turns, someone seems ready to question his intentions, remind him of his past, or warn others not to trust him. Even though he enjoys being with Phyllis, remaining in Genoa City means continuing to deal with suspicion from Nick, Victor, and the rest of the people who believe Matt brings nothing but trouble. Phyllis understands what it is like to be judged by the entire. She has spent years dealing with people who refuse to forget her mistakes, even after she has attempted to move forward. That shared experience may be one of the reasons she feels so connected. She does not automatically see him as a problem that needs to be removed. Instead, she sees someone who is tired of being defined by his worst choices. That does not mean Phyllis is blind to the danger surrounding him. She knows Matt has a complicated history, and she knows that Nick's concerns are not entirely without reason. However, Phyllis has never reacted well when someone else tries to decide what is best for her. Nick's warning may only make her more determined to explore the relationship. Phyllis may insist that Matt should not allow Genoa City's opinions to drive him away. She will try to convince him that leaving would mean allowing Victor and Nick to win. More importantly, she may remind him that he now has a reason to stay. That reason is The bond between Phyllis and Matt may have begun unexpectedly, but it is becoming increasingly important to both of them. Matt clearly enjoys Phyllis's company, her confidence, and her refusal to treat him like a criminal every time he enters a room. With Phyllis, he does not have to constantly defend himself. She offers him something he rarely receives from anyone else, the possibility of being seen as more than his reputation. Phyllis, meanwhile, is drawn to Matt's rebellious energy and the sense that their relationship belongs. She is not interested in receiving Nick's approval or Victor's approval. The more others oppose the relationship, the more tempting it is. However, Phyllis's attempts to keep Matt in Genoa City will not be motivated by romance alone. She also knows that Victor is fully capable of carrying out his threats. Victor has already warned Matt about the possibility of prison, and no one understands Victor Newman's determination better than Phyllis. When Victor believes someone poses a threat to his family, he rarely stops until that person has been neutralized. His warning about prison was not an empty attempt to frighten Matt. If Victor finds evidence he can use, he will not hesitate to involve the authorities or manipulate the situation to force Matt out of Genoa City. Phyllis will therefore be walking a dangerous line. She wants Matt to stay, but she must also keep him from provoking Victor. Matt's frustration could make him reckless, especially if he feels he has nothing left to lose. Phyllis may try to persuade him that disappearing would only make him appear guilty, while confronting Victor directly could send him straight into the trap Victor has prepared. She may encourage Matt to remain calm and allow her to handle the political games surrounding him. Phyllis knows how to survive in Genoa City. She understands how Victor operates, and she has years of experience navigating threats, secrets, and shifting alliances. Still, Matt may question whether staying is worth a risk. His attraction to Phyllis is real, but he may not be willing to sacrifice his freedom for a relationship that has only just begun. He may fear that the longer he remains, the easier it will be for Victor to create a legal problem he cannot escape. Phyllis will likely sense his hesitation and increase her efforts to keep him close. Her charm, warmth, and confidence could temporarily convince Matt that they have a chance to build something together. Yet even during their intimate morning, the danger hanging over them will remain impossible to ignore. Nick's interruption will also continue to affect the situation. Nick does not trust Matt, and he will not accept the relationship simply because Phyllis believes she can handle herself. From Nick's perspective, Phyllis is making a dangerous choice based on attraction and defiance rather than common sense. Nick may believe Matt is using Phyllis to gain protection, information, or a stronger position in Genoa City. He could also worry that Phyllis's feelings will prevent her from recognizing the warning signs until it is too late. Phyllis, however, may see Nick's interference as hypocrisy. Nick has made his own questionable romantic choices and has repeatedly ignored advice when he believed he was following him. She may resent the idea that he now has the right to control whom. Their disagreement could quickly become personal. Nick may argue that he is trying to protect her, while Phyllis may accuse him of refusing to believe she can make her own decisions. The more Nick pushes, the more Phyllis may defend Matt. This places Matt in a powerful but dangerous position. He could use the conflict between Nick and Phyllis to his advantage, but doing so would prove Nick's suspicions correct. If Matt genuinely cares about Phyllis, he may be reluctant to become the reason her relationship with Nick deteriorates. At the same time, Matt may secretly enjoy the fact that Phyllis is willing to stand against everyone. After being rejected and condemned by so many people, her loyalty could become difficult to resist. The real question is whether Phyllis is seeing Matt clearly or merely seeing a reflection of herself. She understands his anger because she has felt similar. She sympathizes with his desire to escape judgment because she has spent much of her life fighting against other people's opinions. That connection may be genuine, but it could also prevent her from recognizing when Matt crosses. Phyllis is convinced that she can manage the situation, but Victor's threat changes everything. She cannot protect Matt if he gives Victor a legitimate reason to act. She may need to convince him to avoid confrontation, control his temper and prove that he is not the dangerous man everyone believes him to be. Matt may agree for the moment, especially while he is enjoying Phyllis's attention. Nevertheless, the pressure surrounding him will continue to grow. Nick will keep watching. Victor will remain ready to strike. Every mistake Matt makes could become the evidence his end. The contrast between the episode's two central stories will make Wednesday especially compelling. Nikki will be forced to place her trust in Victor at a time when she feels frightened and powerless. Matt will have to decide whether he can place his trust in Phyllis when staying in Genoa City could cost him his freedom. Victor's loyalty to Nikki will reveal the protective and devoted side of his personality, while his threats against Matt will show the ruthless side that has made him one of Genoa City's most dangerous men. He can promise to stand beside the woman he loves while simultaneously preparing to destroy anyone he believes threatens his family. Phyllis may believe she is strong enough to protect Matt from Victor, but she could be underestimating how far Victor is willing to go. Matt may also be underestimating the emotional cost of remaining with Phyllis. Their attraction could quickly turn into a battle involving Nick, Victor, and old wounds that have never fully healed. By the end of the episode, Nikki may receive only partial answers about her future. She could open her eyes and experience a brief sign of improvement, but the uncertainty surrounding her recovery will likely remain. Victor's promise will give her hope, yet it may also mark the beginning of a difficult new chapter in their life. Meanwhile, Phyllis may succeed in persuading Matt to stay for now. Their mourning together could strengthen their bond and convince them that the relationship deserves a chance. However, Matt's decision to remain in Genoa City will place him directly in Victor's path. Phyllis may think love, attraction, and determination are enough to keep Matt safe, but Victor has already made his intentions clear. If Matt refuses to leave, Victor may begin searching for the fastest way to put him behind bars. Will Nikki's vision begin to return after Dr. Nowling removes her bandages, or will she be forced to confront a future filled with new limitations? Can Victor truly support Nikki without taking control of every part of her recovery? Will Phyllis successfully protect Matt from Victor's threats, or is her growing attachment leading her into another disaster? Most importantly, should Phyllis trust the connection she feels with Matt, or should she listen to Nick before the situation becomes impossible to escape?